Alright, what is this? This looks like a more quote-unquote serious video. Hey, Tara. The casual perspective of Final Fantasy XIV and WoW. Alright, I'm ready. Let's go.
So, Final Fantasy, the game that everyone is talking about right now and getting a good
I like this guy's voice. It's good.
experience out of, many of which are well-known WoW refugees
Yes,
as they
Seth,
are
I have.
nicknamed as,
She's so hot.
and others are just fanatics for the MMORPG. Welcome to the Point of Irrelevancy, where I share my experiences and thoughts with you without having any relative credentials. This is my
Alright, what happens to the mod filter system? I mean, like, the video's fine. It's just a guy talking for 23 minutes. Like, it's not like TOS or anything. It's just weird as fuck.
my Final Fantasy XIV experience. I tried Final Fantasy XIV in 2018 because of my friends. They always spoke about how fun and
They only have
amazing
to
the game
moderate
was,
TOS,
and I
nothing
was
else.
hooked. I enjoyed the MMORPG aspect mostly because of the RPG. Games like Dark Souls, Skyrim, and Warframe really did bring it home for me. But adding the concept of playing with a lot of players boosted that fact because I was addicted to Wizard 101 at a time. So I
Nice.
downloaded the game and got into it. At first, everything seemed simplistic. A beginning story that didn't
He's
have much
using
to scare you
G-Shade, I
with,
think,
a nice
already.
little introduction and smooth beginning.
Good man.
I played as a gladiator since I loved swords and shields at that time, but as soon as I continued
Same.
playing it, I felt intimidated. The amount of quests, navigating and running from person to person, reading loads of words and not knowing where I was going was
Yeah, this is definitely the first problem with this game. Like, the first problem with this game is the sheer amount of quests. Don't get me wrong, like, I very much warmed up to how they lock everything behind quests. I think doing the blue quests is fine. It's not that bad. It's just, there's just so much, and it's hard to really know what you should and shouldn't do. If you're not sure, just do the MSQ and do blue quests. Fuck everything else. That's basically the short answer. Do blue quests whenever you want to.
unnerving me slightly. I didn't understand a thing, and I was left alone majority of the times with no rope or guidance at all. I felt overwhelmed and quit the game at level 20.
Oof. That's rough.
Fast forward a couple of years later in the Great Depression, 2020, my friend got me into World of Warcraft. We quested together as two blood elves and reached up until level 50. We slowly stopped playing afterwards until our friend group got into the game again. But they played as alliance, so I took it upon myself to boost my character to level 110 with the free boost I got with the purchase of the game. It felt great.
Okay.
The game, not the boost. Playing all the endgame content with my friends, going through mythic dungeons and keys, playing normal raids, and overall having fun times together. Doing mount runs and see who has the most amount of mounts by the end of the month. It was great. But soon after, the game began to feel a little stale. There wasn't much to do until it was Wednesday, where the reset took place and I could do those mount farms again to cure or increase my depression from the mythic key chest that would always give you the worst gear. I give up. I quit. I want to go back and play better games. I was foolish to think League of Legends was a better game. Hey! Did you know that the new expansion is coming out soon? Wait, what? Boom! World of Warcraft.
I mean, like, if this is like a casual perspective, as in like a casual MMO player playing these games, then yeah, I think WoW is gonna get stale very fast, because a lot of the end game is like raid or high-end mythic plus. So if you don't do those, like, you really don't have a lot to do, apart from all the side things of all the weird systems they have. So unfortunately, like, unless you want to raid in WoW, it just seems like you're in for a bad time. Mythic dungeons are harder versions of, like, the dungeons in the game. And then mythic keys are basically, there's a system in WoW called Mythic Plus. And basically you get a key and it has a level. And if you finish within the time limit, you get, like, loot. And your key goes up an increment. and then it might be a different dungeon. So then you do that key, etc., etc. And as you do more, like their HP goes up, their damage goes up, and there's also affixes that get added to the keys, which basically changes up your strategy when doing the dungeon. It's really cool, to be fair. Like, I think Mythic Plus is really cool. Mythic Plus is really fun. I used to do it when I played full-time. Sorry, when I played during full-time work, and I'd just come home from work, do a couple Mythic Plus with the boys before going to bed. I have played WoW, yeah. I played all throughout Legion. The quote-unquote last good expansion. So yeah, like, this is why I keep talking about dungeons in this game, because dungeons in Final Fantasy are bad compared to WoW dungeons. I'm sorry, like, back then at least, the WoW dungeons were really cool. And the affixes and the stuff, and the way you had to, like, do the dungeons was really cool. It was fun, man. And like, as you go higher up with the keys, you'd get higher, like, item level loot. Some of which would be comparable to raiding loot, which was a bit stupid, yeah. That was a bit dumb, but it was nice for me at the time because I was a more casual player, because I couldn't raid a lot due to work. So it was alright for me. However, those that do have enough time to raid, like, obviously, like, that's not a good thing. So, it really depends on your perspective. But yeah, no, it's a nice system, and I wish we'd have something like that here. But it's just not gonna happen. But people keep telling them that the people want hard 4-man content, so maybe one day, who knows. I think they'll crack eventually. Bail's in the middle of a dungeon run, the person who uses keys pretty much screwed. Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Like, if someone leaves, like, your key's just fucked and it'll get downgraded. But at least that's how it used to work. I don't know if that's changed now. You can plus 3 keys to level them quick. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's changed a bit then. Yeah, man, it's really fun to do, personally.
Shadow Legends. Shadow Legends?
Okay.
Shadowlands.
Nice.
Shadowlands. Yeah. It wasn't that bad, actually. Shadowlands had a very good launch. It was great, but still had the same problems it always had. Certain mechanics that aren't necessary. The Mythic Dungeon key rewards were more open, but the issue was the fact that you needed to play more and do more. It felt more like a job than anything. The mount farms were the classical
this is the main issue
1%
people have
represent
talked
that
about.
made me feel it was more of a
playing
gamble
the game
than an
started
actual
to feel like a
rerun
chore.
that felt rewarding.
Sad.
So at some point in time, I quit again, completely. Then, the free trial of Final Fantasy XIV was out and it caught my interest. Being able to play 2 whole expansions for free without the pressure of paid game time or paying for the game in general? Sick. I can give a try without having to go so deep into it. And with my year-long experience in World of Warcraft, I may have a better idea going into Final Fantasy XIV. And yeah, I did. I am now a walking advertisement for this game. It's great. It's therapeutic. It's different. It didn't feel like I had to do something. It just made me want to do something.
Once again, like, I think for some people it's like a honeymoon period. Like, everyone seems so burnt out by WoW, so they've come here and, like, it's very different, and, you know, it feels great to have that freedom. I don't think everyone's gonna love the game as much as they claim to now in the future, just because, you know, it's just never that way forever, right? But yeah, I mean, I'm very glad people are enjoying it now that they've come here and tried it properly. But I think eventually, you know, people will find things to complain about. And so they should.
Unlocking certain dungeons and raids and alliance raids didn't feel necessary. It was just something that was available. Getting the best gear wasn't necessary either. Farming mounts felt rewarding in a sense. Getting a currency so that if you actually farm the mount 99 times, you can get the mount for a whopping 100% chance. And if you do get the mount and have some currency to spare, you can buy glamour. The game has many different aspects to endgame, and it's great. The role-playing in this game is very fluid, and most importantly, the enriched role-playing is phenomenal.
Why can't we go a single video about this game without this shit? My fucking god, man. Everyone's corrupted in the end. At some point, it takes a month or a year, fucking 5 years. Everyone is corrupted in the end.
So, Final Fantasy. It's crazy to think that I quit this game because I was intimidated. Comparatively, I've played WoW for a year, and I've played Final Fantasy for about 4 months now. And the difference is grand. The attachment that I have between myself and my character was more than I expected. More than I had with my World of Warcraft character.
Yeah.
The bonds that my character had with the main characters in the game were natural and felt more real
mine
than
just
the
has
connection
bonds of other
WoW's hero
people.
had with any of the main
And
characters. And in all honesty, the fact that I don't have to wake up to do certain tasks to keep myself away from the fear of missing out eases my mind by a whole lot. I'd rather be able to do a reputation grind that gives glamour or transmog or mounts than do Torghast for a currency that will give me a really strong piece of armor and an ability passive. I've consistently missed out on weeks of mythic dungeons because some people deemed it easy while I found it difficult. The players that I was with also found it difficult. It felt like a game of skill and commitment more than the fun aspect of it. A competition as if to get a certain rank. I felt the fear of missing out. I stopped doing mythics because the reward system was god-awful and unrewarding when you didn't get a piece of gear, and even more god-awful when it was a piece you weren't going for in the first place. The higher keys I got, the more toxic.
Every time I hear FOMO, it leaves a bad taste in my mouth because of the D2 community. FOMO sucks, man. And like, yeah, it very much exists in games as well. When you have a game that doesn't respect your time and makes you grind, when you start like slowing down and then your friends get ahead because they're still enjoying it, you just feel like, you really feel like you're just falling behind and that you can't play anymore. It really fucking sucks, man. Which then keeps you playing because it's like, you don't want to be left behind. You want to be in on the cool shit, even though you fucking hate it.
People were, and the more unfun it became for me. And in all honesty, Final Fantasy has been the de-stress I never knew I needed. But after finishing Shadowbringers, I thought it best to pack it up and wait till Endwalker would be released. But a friend of mine introduced me to many people who later on gave me the confidence to make friends in this game. The motivation to keep playing the game wasn't so I can level more classes or get better gear or glamour. It was to spend time with people, learn more about them, and feel a sense of growth and connection.
This game is good at that.
To be completely honest,
social.
I never knew what the premise of this video was. Maybe a comparison between the two games?
It's a blessing and a curse, trust me.
I love both games. But one game just didn't love itself to grow from its mistakes. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to see more of me, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hitting the like button, and comment your thoughts and experiences between these two games. I'd love to know more about your side of the story. I also stream every day over at twitch.tv/SamTheLemonBoy at 9 o'clock GMT +4, but until next time, take care.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, good video, man. I didn't realize it was gonna be like a comparison. I thought it was gonna be like them just talking about casual things you do in both games, but man. Excuse me. This guy is cool. I'm subscribing. I like his voice too. Keep it up, brother. Good stuff. And welcome to the game. Glad you're enjoying it. Alright.